het net die ding afgevee. Okay, is on. Good evening. I'm Jean Leroux. And this was not the plan for the first proper debate or episode for Starting Point SA, but it's just as relevant and even more relevant and the most relevant right now, as far as anything that I can see. I want to leave you with Nel Marie. I'll be in the room assisting from the side. We have to get straight into this because it is urgent and it is no small matter. So enough of me, blah blah blah. This is Nel Marie. What I'm going to ask Nel Marie to do is, I've got some very interested friends from far away on their way here, and they would like to know so long from you, and so would many others, what the hell is going on. So just speak and I'll leave the laptop next to you and I'll be around you to help. Die microfoon is daar en is nogal sensitief, jy kan nog ons praat. I'm sure someone will let us know if there's a problem. Thank you to the friends, family and colleagues, business partners who are showing support. If there's a problem, please get hold of me on WhatsApp, on the new business line, because our telephones and property are still locked up with SAPS for no reason. Okay, let's get going. Now, mate, please, what is going on?
So I must speak in English. I assume you're going to come sit next to me. You're not going to ask questions. You just want me to speak.
I can, but I don't want to lead you. I want you to start with the night your daughter was taken the first time. And try and streamline your way through 3 years of court mess to the current situation and urgent matter which needs urgent attention, as well as, of course, the original problem. Just start from the night your daughter was taken the first time.
Okay, first I'm going to read for us from Jeremiah in the Bible, because we don't do anything without God. So let's just start there. Jeremiah 1, the call of Jeremiah. The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as prophet to the nations. Ah, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I am only a child. But the Lord said to me, Do not say, I am only a child. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, Now I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. The word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? I see the branch of an almond tree, I replied. The Lord said to me, You have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. The word of the Lord came to me again. What do you see? I see a boiling pot tilting away from the north, I answered. The Lord said to me, From the north disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. I am about to summon all the peoples of the northern kingdoms, declares the Lord. Their kings will come and set up their thrones in the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem. They will come against all her surrounding walls and against all the towns of Judah. I will pronounce my judgments on my people because of their wickedness in forsaking me, in burning incense to other gods, and in worshipping what their hands have made. Get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. So this is a commandment from the Lord. that we are not to be scared. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its officials, its priests, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you. For I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. So in case it's not clear, I'm inviting the Lord to speak through me, because I do not think I'm right. I don't think I know everything. I'm not a sinner. I'm not perfect. So I'm wanting God to address all of you. I'm inviting him to speak. In Exodus 23, we find the laws of justice and mercy. For those of you who do not come, or for those of you who do not know, our laws, our justice system, comes from the Bible. It didn't fall out of the sky. Exodus 23, the laws of justice and mercy. Do not spread false reports. Do you hear that, Jade Bradshaw? Do you hear that, Mr. Spangenberg? Do not spread false reports. Do not help a wicked man by being a malicious witness. Do not follow the crowd in doing wrong when you give testimony in a lawsuit. Do not pervert justice by siding with the crowd, and do not show favoritism to a poor man in his lawsuit. If you come across your enemy's ox or donkey wandering off, be sure to take it back to him. If you see the donkey of someone who hates you fallen down under its load, do not leave it there. Be sure to help him with it. Do not deny justice to your poor people in their lawsuits. Do you hear that, Humansdorp Hof? Do not deny justice to your poor people in their lawsuits. Have nothing to do with a false charge. And do not put an innocent or honest person to death, for I will not acquit the guilty. Do not accept a bribe. Humansdorp Hof. Do not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds those who see and twists the words of the righteous. To get my other Bible. Proverbs 22:22. Do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court, for the Lord will take up their case and will plunder those who plunder them. In Isaiah 61 verse 8, it says, "For I, the Lord, love justice." And lastly, before I start, Proverbs 12 verse 22 says, "The Lord detests lying lips." Jade Bradshaw, Mr. Spangenberg, Elaine Botha. The Lord detests lying lips. I'm not sure where to start. Do you want to keep this brief, or are you not wanting me to start with the whole history of the divorce?
I want you.
Yes.
I want you. Since this thing started, for over 3 years, nobody has given you an opportunity to talk. especially in a calm situation, a reasonable situation, and where everyone gets a say. So you can talk as long as you want about what you want, but you need to explain why I'm posting what I'm posting.
Okay.
There is no time limit.
Okay.
There is no format limit. Explain what is going on.
Okay. Do you want to keep an eye on the comments and the messaging so
I
we
will-
can just make sure
yes.
everyone's hearing us?
Yes.
That the
Okay, yes.
so if someone can't hear something, if the sound's bad, because there's a notice here that says the stream is experiencing performance issues. So
I'm checking that. Leave that alone, you can get started.
okay. So I have been kept out of many courtrooms. Many court clerks have refused to take applications from me. Cases have been moved around between courts in order to, on purpose, delay, to buy themselves time to try and cover up their crimes. In 2021, round about November, October, I tried to have a conversation with my ex-husband after many years of things being difficult. I sat with him on the bed as I'm sitting now because I'm injured and I actually can't stand or walk. And I said to him very calmly, very nicely, and he knew this was coming. It didn't fall out of the sky. There were problems for a long time. I said to him, Jade, this is not working. You are not changing. Nothing is getting better. I am not happy. I want a divorce. I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. I'm coming to you and I'm asking you, let's figure it out together. Let's make a plan together. How do we do this so that it has the least amount of impact on Ariel? How can we start to separate without hurting her? Oopsie.
Gaan on, yes, fine.
Well,
Alles is on.
I can't see.
I know, I can see you.
Okay, but this is weird and it's interrupting the flow.
Okay, let me just put
Okay,
correct now.
okay. So I said to him, can we come up with a plan together? Let's talk. Let's figure this out. How do we start separating with the least amount of impact on Ariel? He then proceeded to threaten me. And he said to me, if you want to stay together, that's fine, we can talk. If you want a divorce, there's no talking. This is how it's going to go. You will not leave me. He said that to me. He said to me, you will not leave me. If you try and divorce me, this is what I'm going to do. You won't be able to fight me in court because you've got no money. And if you try and fight me in court, I will move back to East London because that's where we're from. I will get my mother and my sister to help raise our little girl, and you will never see her again. That's what he said to me. I was frozen in shock, that he would use his little girl to threaten me, that he would use her as a weapon to blackmail and harm and intimidate me, because that is not what is best for a little girl. So immediately he showed that he is willing to hurt her development, harm her, to hurt me. That is the very definition of abuse, for those of you going around saying he is not abusive. So I lied. It's the one and only time. Okay, well, I lied out of fear and because I love my daughter. And I didn't want her harmed, and I most certainly didn't want to never see her again and have him take her away from me. And I said, it's fine, I'll stay, we can work things out. But now he had absolutely, after years of being horrible, he had shown me his true colors to the core. And I knew I was not safe. And my daughter is definitely not safe in this man's care, because his priorities are not right. His moral compass is skewed. So I stayed, but I was very scared because I didn't know how to leave. Because he was right, I had no money. I was working for him and his father and their family and the trust. I did not have outside employment, outside independent income. And he controlled all the finances. And there are many, many women in this type of situation. Eventually, after months of literally living as a hostage in my own home, because if you force someone to love you by threatening them that they're not allowed to leave, it is not love. I eventually got an attorney's number from a friend who I went to see in secret. I was petrified. I explained to him the situation. I asked him, what are my rights? I said to him, I have no money. I told him, I can't pay you. He said he will help me and he will claim his money from the settlement. So I phoned my father the morning of 13th of March 2022 on my birthday, 5 o'clock in the morning, really early while Jade was sleeping. And I told my father what was going on and I asked him for help. Because I told him I can't pay a deposit or rent or make plans for leaving without Jade finding out, and if he finds out, he's going to take Ariel away from me. My father helped me. He paid the first month's rent and deposit. I arranged with a friend to help me move out on a certain date when everything was organized. We couldn't file for divorce because then he would know. So I first had to leave safely. My dad had agreed to speak to him on the phone and keep him busy. My friend was there. I asked her to be there because Jade is extremely precious about his reputation. He cares more about it than he cares about the woman and child he claims to love. He is completely fake. But I knew that I could use this to my favor. If I have a friend with me, he will not harm me or be horrible or cause a massive scene in front of someone else to protect his reputation. That was the way to get out safely. So we packed everything together. Certain things, like there was 1 or 2 cupboards. I said to him, Jade, the place we are moving to does not have a lot of cupboard space. Please may I take just these 2 cupboards? He pointed to them and he said, yes. They are yours. I bought them for you. Of course you can. Okay? Because later, he opened up a case against me, accusing me of stealing these cupboards and a phone he gave me, which is perjury, to lie under oath in an affidavit and lay a charge against someone. That's a crime, Jade. The first of many. You should be in jail. We got out. He was really angry. I did it while Ariel was at school, so as to not harm her and spare her from the experience. I have been trying to protect her from harm the entire time. I fetched her from school. I explained to her that we have a new house. You and Mommy, we're going to live here, but you will see Daddy every afternoon. I told Jade, please, don't make this horrible. I promise you, you will see your daughter every afternoon. I will bring her to you every afternoon. You will have a relationship with your daughter. You don't have to fight me in court. You don't have to take her away. I just don't want to be with you anymore. I want to be safe. That wasn't good enough for him. He proceeded to threaten and harass me and stalk me and intimidate me. He couldn't leave me alone. He was so angry and so upset. He was phoning me repeatedly, messaging me repeatedly, kept trying to see me. I was asking him for space. There was no respect. Repeatedly, I would arrive at the beach to surf, because once upon a time I used to be a surfer before all this mess started, when I had the luxury to enjoy life. I would arrive at the beach, park. Before I even turned the key off, before I even opened my window, this man was at my window, trying to talk to me. I asked him, Jade, please, leave me alone. Please stop. I left you for a reason. Just please leave me alone. He would not stop. No matter where I went, he was harassing me, stalking me, messaging me, calling me. The one time he phoned me, and he asked for marriage counseling, which was probably done on the advice of his lawyer. I said no, because we are past that stage, because you threatened me, and because you will hurt your daughter to hurt me. I didn't say all those exact words in that conversation, but that was the reason for saying no. Then he said to me, well, then prepare for things to get ugly. I said to him, Jade, you're threatening me. He said, no, divorces are ugly. I said, no, Jade, they do not have to be. So in case it's not obvious, this man displays psychopathic symptoms because it is sick and twisted to say to someone, you will love me, you will be with me, you will not leave. If you leave, I will hurt you. Prepare for things to get ugly. That is not just abusive. That is sick and twisted. That is dangerous. He is a dangerous man. I took Ariel to visit him almost every afternoon. It was literally every afternoon, or at least 3 to 4 times a week. I was trying to facilitate the relationship between them while maintaining my boundaries and telling him, do not speak to me about the divorce. Do not try and speak to me all the time. I don't want contact with you. I've left you. We can speak about anything relating to Ariel only. Divorce matters get discussed and negotiated between the lawyers. I begged and pleaded with him to behave himself, to do what is best for Ariel. But every afternoon I went to drop her off. He would threaten me, he would harass me, he would intimidate me. He used the drop-off and collection, because it's the only time he saw me, to be horrible to me. He said to me that he can't afford a divorce. A divorce is expensive. Lawyer fees are expensive. He needs to stop paying for Ariel's extracurricular activities. He's going to cancel her, what was she doing at the time? Soccer Stars. She was in play school. She was doing 2 things, I think gymnastics and Soccer Stars. I said to her, Jade, don't do this. She is still adjusting to the divorce. We've only just moved out. Don't disrupt her routine. Don't harm her because you're angry at me. You do not need to save 200 or 300 rand a month. That's ridiculous. He has repeatedly used his daughter and threatened to harm her, to hurt me. He does not love his daughter. He doesn't know what the word love means. There is something wrong with this man. No parent who loves their child will act this way, will constantly make decisions that are not in the child's best interest, just to hurt the mother. He refused to pay any maintenance. He refused to contribute. I had been dependent on him. I had no money. Okay? Now I have to feed us every day, put petrol in the car, pay for groceries, pay for electricity. I asked him repeatedly to contribute. He refused. He said, I will not pay your rent. I will not give you any money. The trust will not support you. I'm the mother of his child. If he doesn't give me money and we don't eat, he's literally abusing his child because he's refusing to provide food for her, electricity so the lights can be on and we can have warm water. Those of you who say this man is the best surfer dad ever, you do not know what you are talking about. I filed for divorce because I left. My application was sitting on the desk of the court clerk. It was purposefully delayed and not attended to, while his lawyer, Mr. Spangenberg, prepared his divorce application. They proceeded to file for divorce after me, but his divorce papers were served on me before mine was even processed or filed at court. Miss Toli Mbekela. So because he would not contribute to maintenance, my attorney had to file for a Rule 58 application, an interim maintenance order, because I was completely dependent on him when I left. My attorney, bless his heart, managed to successfully get a maintenance order granted for me and for Ariel. With that money, it was supposed to help me, not just to feed us and clothe us, have the lights on, have petrol in the car, pay rent. It was supposed to assist me in legal battles so that the divorce can be fair. Mr. Bradshaw paid maintenance for 3 months only. In those 3 months, he constantly threatened to stop paying maintenance, constantly threatened to take me off the medical aid, despite what the maintenance order said, that I have to remain on the medical aid. He told me himself, in his own words, "I can't not pay you. My attorney says I have to pay maintenance, otherwise I will go to jail." That's what he said to me. Do you know what happened the last 3.5 years? He did not pay maintenance. Did he go to jail? No. Did he get arrested? No. Did he get a court date? Even one single court date? No. Lolly, maintenance officer, Humansdorp. Abraham Modifo, maintenance investigator, Humansdorp. These people could not give me one court date in 3 years for the maintenance this man owes me. He owes me over 300,000 rand. It is law that a father has to pay maintenance, especially when there's a court order. And it is the law that you have to follow a court order. You are in contempt of court if you do not follow a court order. That is, by law, a criminal chargeable offense that you should be arrested for. There's a big sign in the Humansdorp hallway at court that says, "Tronk toe oor onderhoud." That court is disgusting. It's the biggest, hypocritical, horrible place I have ever had to set foot in my life. So Mr. Bradshaw started short paying maintenance. Then one night, he stole our car. For those of you that know Mr. Bradshaw, he drives a Toyota Fortuner. Sorry, he doesn't drive. He is half blind. He cannot drive. I did all the driving because I can see. He cannot even drive, he cannot see. Yes, the vehicle was in his name, but it was a family vehicle. This vehicle and the legalities surrounding this vehicle, in terms of a divorce, in terms of the law, was discussed at length with not only my attorney at the time, but also the police. I literally discussed the matter with the police to get their input as well. This was a family vehicle. By the laws that govern a divorce in our country, he was not allowed to take that vehicle. He stole it. It's a family vehicle. I was using it to transport Ariel to school and back so that we can get to the doctor if we need to, so that I can buy groceries for us. It was our only mode of safe, reliable transport, and he cannot even drive. And I was driving her to his house every afternoon. And my attorney said to him, if you have an issue, because he was moaning, he wants to sell the car, he can't afford maintenance. He said, my attorney said to him, firstly, the maintenance order that was granted was less than the monthly expenses when Ariel and I used to live with him. Because I sent the attorney bank statements of months and years. So between me and the attorney, we worked out the maintenance extremely accurately based on expenses of our bank statements. I am not a greedy gold digger, to put those rumors to rest. It was worked out carefully, and the appropriate amounts were claimed, and they were not granted, because the attorney explained to me that the court will not grant the full amount. It's highly unlikely. So they granted a fair amount, but it was less than what our actual expenses were and the quality of life that we were used to. Now Mr. Bradshaw's claiming he can't afford maintenance when it's costing him less. And he's saying he needs to sell the car. And the attorney pointed this out to them and said he's being malicious. He then proceeded to steal the car, like a thief in the night. He admitted in court that he paid someone 500 rand to come and steal the car. Ariel was sick that night. She was screaming and crying. Obviously, I did not know what was wrong at the time. But that morning, because she had been crying all night and something was clearly wrong, she was clearly in pain, I was getting her ready to go to the doctor. It was a nightmare trying to dress and feed her while she's screaming and crying because she's sore and something's wrong. We eventually were dressed and we walked out of the house and the car was gone, and I could not take my screaming, crying 3-year-old to the doctor. And you say he's a good father. The court has given this man primary care. I had to phone for help, to get a lift, to get Ariel medical help. She had an ear infection. Jade, your daughter had an ear infection while you were stealing the car. Many times in the 3 years that followed in the divorce, he refused to pay for doctor's visits when Ariel was sick. He fought with me constantly every time I needed to take her to the doctor or she asked to go to the doctor. He phoned the secretary at the doctor's office one afternoon when Ariel's tummy had been hurting for so long, to the point that even the teacher reported it to me and said she was concerned because it's been going on for a long time and it's not getting better. Jade was just giving her medicine every day. He wasn't addressing the problem. I took her to the doctor. Well, Jean was driving us because her father stole the car that's supposed to drive her around safely. We took her to the doctor. And this man phoned the secretary and said to her rudely over the phone, "I will not pay, I am not liable, do not send me the bill." That is disgusting. I was so embarrassed. Sis, Jade, sis. I was mortified. I was so embarrassed. And I couldn't pay. Because he hadn't been paying maintenance, I had no money. I had to phone my father, who settled the bill and paid for Ariel's medication. Later that week, when I got a payment, but for some reason, particularly on that day, we didn't have extra money. I couldn't. But when a payment came in later, I did pay my father back. Something else I want to explain regarding the stealing of the car. I had always driven Ariel around, always. Because the safety of my daughter is my number one concern. I had never ever before that incident put her in a car with strangers. I had never ever sent her unaccompanied anywhere. Because she was 3. She was attending play school at the time, and now I couldn't take her. She had to get a lift with what I'm saying is strangers. I had to arrange lifts with her, for her, from other parents in the school. So yes, they are other parents. It's the safest option. But as a mother, it makes you uncomfortable. It's not nice to send your kid off with someone else. It was horrible. And I couldn't drive with. It's impractical because they're on their way to work. They go and drop off their kids on their way to work. They're already doing me a favor by coming past our place and picking her up on the way. I just had to trust that these parents were good people and that everything's okay. It's normal and okay when you know the people very well. But I was uncomfortable because I did not know these people very well. We had to struggle so much, Jade, for 3.5 years. You don't understand what you've done. You've got no clue. All you care about is money. You didn't want to pay maintenance because you were angry at me and you wanted to hurt me and punish me. You succeeded. Because the more difficult things got, do you know what I had to do, Jade? While you were shopping at Woolworths, I had to eat less and less to make sure Ariel always had food. I always fed my daughter. I took care of her. She always had what she needed, even if that meant some evenings I had to go to bed hungry. Because I am a good mother. You are a horrible father. The 1st of October 2022 was the first day he short paid maintenance. I remember it because it was over the weekend, and so we were struggling yet again, and I could only go to court to report it on the Monday. I went to court and the runaround started. Fill in a form, wait in line, we'll give you a date. It's pathetic. I had to follow up so many times to get a first date just to go and sit and lay my complaint. That first date I was given, I think, was in December, and he stopped paying maintenance or started short paying in October. So I'm a mother. I have to feed my daughter and myself. I have to drive out petrol money from Jeffreys Bay to Humansdorp to come and tell you that her father's not paying maintenance, and you do nothing. You let me fill out a form and you make me wait 2 months. Do you know that a little girl cannot wait 2 months to eat? Does this make any sense to you? I went in December. The maintenance officer said to me, I cannot make Mr. Bradshaw pay with money he doesn't have. I have to investigate. I said to her, there's a court order. There's nothing to investigate. He's got to pay. She said to me, if you cannot feed your daughter, take her to her father's house. There's food there. Sis on you. I left for a reason. There's a court order that he has to pay. It's the law. And that's what you say to me. I had to wait 8 weeks for them to investigate, which they never did, by the way, to this day. To this day, 3.5 years later. No human can wait 8 weeks to eat. Your system is flawed. Besides the corruption, it is flawed. It doesn't make sense. I went back in 8 weeks. On the date that the maintenance officer gave me. And she was not there. My file was not there. It was missing, along with the maintenance officer who gave me that date to be there. I gave everyone a mouthful. Mr. Montifo said to me eventually, I found your file in a dark corner. Oops, sorry. Lolly didn't give me instruction to investigate. You'll have to come back in 8 weeks. This was over the December holidays, when all her friends were getting Christmas presents. We couldn't pay rent. We had to move out of our apartment because I couldn't pay rent. Jean Leroux, who was my friend at the time, who's now my partner, took us in because we had nowhere to go. He signed a lease. Put a roof over our head, drove us around, paid for food, took care of us. Because her own father wouldn't. And this man has primary care. Have you lost your minds, Humansdorp Court? I did not put my address on record when we moved. By then, I had to let my attorney go because I couldn't afford to pay him. Because all of a sudden, I received a massive bill from him. I said to him, this was not our agreement. You said you'd help me. He said, no, but divorces can drag on for years. I can't wait years to be paid. I said, but this was not our agreement. You said you would take money from the settlement. I cannot pay you. Errol's father isn't even paying maintenance. How must I pay you? So I had to let him go. So now I had no attorney. We were struggling. No one was helping us. Except Mr. Leroux and my parents. And Jade repeatedly threatened my father that he will not pay. He will fight with me and drag out the divorce and fight me in court until I have nothing left. I will be my father's responsibility. He will not pay. When I was still taking Ariel to him in the afternoons, this was the type of stuff that was going on. After I repeatedly told him it is inappropriate to speak about court matters in front of Ariel. She was 3 turning 4 at the time. She understood every word, every hostile, horrible, threatening word. He was harassing me every time, threatening me every time, while I was holding her in my arms, trying to put her in the car and get her out of the car when I would fetch her. See you in court. I'm going to fight you in court. When are you going to start paying? When are you going to start contributing? Tell your father to get a lawyer. I'm going to sue him. I'm going to sue all of you. Get a lawyer. See you in court. I'll fight you in court. I'm going to take you off the medical aid. This is the type of stuff he said to me. This is how he threatened me. This is how he behaved in front of his daughter. The last time, before I said enough is enough and I stopped taking her, we drove away in tears. I speak under correction because I don't want to lie. I think it was the morning that he stole the car. Or possibly of another incident, but I think it was that morning. In our flat, Ariel and I alone, I was in tears. Do you know what she said to me, this little 3-4-year-old girl? She said to me, next time I go to Daddy's house, Mommy, I will defeat him for you because he's so ugly to you. It broke my heart. So then I went to file for a protection order against him. And I did not go there anymore. And I didn't take his daughter there because I did not feel safe. I was sick and tired of him threatening me, harassing me, bullying me. He wasn't paying maintenance. He wasn't taking care of us. And he was horrible to me in front of his daughter. And he was not showing that he's a good father in any way, shape, or form by stealing the car, threatening to not pay for her extramural activities, not making sure I can afford food, medicine, electricity, pay for rent, making us struggle with transport, taking me off the medical aid. Jade, do you realize, in taking me off the medical aid, you put my life at risk? I am the mother of your child. That is so horrible. Sis, man. So Mr. Bradshaw loves to talk about what a terrible mother I am, and how malicious I am, and how I just wouldn't let him see Ariel. I was protecting us. I was keeping us safe. I didn't go there because he's horrible. He's a horrible, horrible, horrible person. I had to apply for legal aid for the divorce because I couldn't afford a lawyer. I spoke to this lawyer, Mr. Bula, about all the safety concerns and him stealing the car, and also he sent the police to my house one evening while we were still living alone, woman and child alone, before the car incident, because he went to lay charges against me and open a case against me that I stole the car. He said I stole the car, I stole a phone he gave me. He always used to give me his old phones and he would get upgrades and take new phones, but now all of a sudden I stole the phone. I stole a cupboard. Do you know that the police were banging on my door 9 o'clock at night while my daughter was sleeping? I am a woman alone, vulnerable. My little girl is sleeping, and the police is knocking on my door, banging on the door, charging into my house, threatening to arrest me if I don't return Mr. Bradshaw's property. And it's all lies. He lied. That's perjury, Jade Bradshaw. It's a crime. You should be in jail. It's also a crime not to pay maintenance. It's a crime not to follow a court order. So because he was sending the police to my house, stealing from us, sending criminals to our house to steal from us while we are sleeping, and threatening me constantly, threatening my family, we broke contact with him. And I went into hiding, which is my right. I was told by my attorney that I have a right to privacy and safety. Mr. Bradshaw and the family advocate did not need to have our address on record. Legal matters were servable to my attorney, and all communication was to go through my attorney to his attorney, and vice versa. But if you read all the court applications from Mr. Bradshaw, that's not what it says. No, no, no. I'm this malicious, horrible person that just kept his daughter from him for no reason at all. There were no grounds. There was nothing justifying my decision. Absolutely nothing, Mr. Spangenberg.
Ek gaan koffie maak en die honde kyk buite.
Okay, ek sal koffie asseblief. So because Jade threatened to take Ariel away from me, he employed the Office of the Family Advocate to challenge my primary care, because his intention was to take Ariel away, not just to harm me because he's angry at me for leaving him, but also because all he cares about is money. And he did not want to pay me maintenance because he doesn't want to pay anyone anything, nothing. He will always try to get away with the least amount of money he has to pay anyone. He parts with money very, very difficultly because it is his main priority above love, above medical care, above health, above safety. Above relationships, above the well-being and development of his daughter. So he got the family advocate involved to challenge primary care with the end goal of removing Ariel. No matter how long it took. It took 3 years, by the way, 3 years. Carefully calculated, very carefully. Because you don't just take away a little girl from her mother. You don't do that. And there was no reason to. That's why it took them 3 years to get it right. And they did it with lies. Lies. He didn't want to pay maintenance, so he wanted to be the primary caregiver so that he doesn't have to owe me anything or pay me anything. For the next 3 years, he proceeded to pay domestic workers, people to drive them around, nannies. He paid anyone and everyone to help with Ariel, to care for her, drive her around. He even paid a criminal to steal the car before he would pay maintenance so that her own mother can raise her. And he paid a criminal to steal the car for 500 rand, but he has repeatedly refused to pay doctor's consultations of 480 rand. Less. Your daughter's medical care costs less than what you paid someone to steal the car for, Jade Bradshaw. And you refused. Ariel and I were living with Jean. We were dependent on him because her father was not paying maintenance. The divorce was on the roll in April 2023. Yeah. My legal aid attorney and I had met a few times and were preparing for the divorce. He was supposed to help me. I was supposed to get divorced in April 2023. It's now 2025. On the Friday afternoon, I think it was, before we were supposed to be in court for the divorce on Tuesday, I received a phone call from my legal aid attorney. I have to try and remember accurately now. Possibly there was some sort of settlement proposal from Jade and Mr. Spangenberg that was absolutely ridiculous. It was so unfair, it was so disgusting, it was not even anything that any normal person would consider, because it was not fair, it was not right. I can't remember what it was. But because I wouldn't accept this settlement proposal, this attorney tried to convince me that what I was asking for was unreasonable, when it was in fact not. I know the law. I know how we're married. I know what I'm entitled to, Jade Bradshaw and Mr. Spangenberg. I've never wanted more. I'm not a gold digger. I don't care about money, but I want what is fair and just, because I'm the mother of your child, and that little girl deserves a future, and I wanted to make sure that I can clothe her and feed her and send her to school. So I just wanted what was fair. That is all. Mr. Buller proceeded to tell me that he cannot go to court and try and fight for and argue if he doesn't think I will be successful. He's not going to go stand in court and try and get me what he doesn't believe I can get, which was an absolute lie. It's absolute rubbish. Because we were just wanting to proceed with what is fair according to the law. That was a disgusting, unethical phone call. That had Mr. Spangenberg and Jade's interference and pressure from them written all over it. I don't know what you offered, Mr. Buller. But shame on you. Because Mr. Buller proceeded to withdraw as my attorney on record. His legal aid. By law, he has to assist me because I can't afford a lawyer. And he withdrew because he doesn't agree with what I want to ask for, which was only fair, which we had discussed and worked out in many consultations for months leading up to the divorce. It made no sense. This man dropped me 3 days before the divorce. So the divorce was postponed. The magistrate said to me, "This is an extremely complicated matter. I would like for you to have legal assistance." The family advocate wanted to reopen their inquiry. By the way, the first report, I had primary care because I'm her mother. She's a little tiny girl. She's supposed to be with her mother. And by the way, she was still breastfeeding at the time. But now, because months had passed, that we had not seen Mr. Bradshaw and he was not having contact with his daughter, due to him being horrible, dangerous, doing absolutely everything not in the best interest of his daughter. The court and the family advocate was moaning that she wasn't seeing her father, and so they wanted to reopen the family advocate's report and investigation. Plus, without an attorney, they put pressure on me for Ariel to see Jade. But I insisted on supervised visits because of the constant threats. Because this man is dangerous. Just because someone smiles at you, has a amicable, normal, calm conversation with you sometimes, does not mean that this is the way they are all the time, especially behind closed doors. He is very good at pretending. He is very good at being 100% fake. He appears normal. He is not. There's something deeply disturbingly wrong with this man. So in court, because I had no attorney, I was scared, I was intimidated, I was not good at speaking. I am a shy, reserved individual. I only really speak properly to close friends and people I feel comfortable with and trust. I'm not a massive extrovert. I'm not comfortable just speaking to strangers, and especially speaking in court, alone, no attorney, about the well-being of my daughter. Such serious matters that's so important that I'm so scared to say or do anything wrong to her detriment. It is so intimidating for anyone who has not been through that. It is terrifying. The family advocate put pressure on me. Errol has to see Jade. I said not unless the visits are supervised. We made arrangements for supervised visits. I was asked to make traveling arrangements, which I did. I was not asked to pay for transport or anything else. That's not what the court order says, Elaine Botha. The family advocate stood up in court because the issue was raised about communication. Because now for supervised visits, arrangements have to be made. Times and days have to be agreed upon, locations. And at the time I was not having contact with Mr. Bradshaw because he does not know how to behave himself. He does not know how to respect a fellow human being, let alone the mother of his child. So I refused to have direct contact with him. And Mr. Mbalo had withdrawn, and I had no legal assistance. So the family advocate stood up in court and said, I will be the go-between. I will help them communicate. We made traveling arrangements. Then I asked Elaine, kindly ask Mr. Bradshaw if he will pay for the taxi fare. Because now realize he has stolen the car. He wants to see his daughter. It's not Jean Leroux's responsibility to drive or pay for a taxi. It's not his daughter. He's already paying rent, paying for food, driving her to school. He's already taking care of us. He knows what an absolute horrific person Mr. Bradshaw is. And the abuse I've had to endure at his hands, he is most certainly not going to cover the costs for this horrible man to see the daughter he claims to love but is hurting because he won't feed her. It was his responsibility. It was your responsibility, Jade. And that is what I tried to communicate to their family advocate. I said to her, kindly ask Jade to pay, or who's going to compensate. How is this traveling going to be, how are the costs going to be covered? Because I don't have it. Mr. Leroux's already stretching himself thin, caring for a mother and a daughter. That is not his responsibility. We most certainly do not have extra in the house. He doesn't pay maintenance. He steals the car. So it was a very simple question and very relevant. And Elaine Botha did not relay my message to Mr. Bradshaw. And so the arrangements didn't take place. And then I was accused of alleged contempt of court for not obeying the court order. And this was held repeatedly against me as the case built up over the last 3 years. But it's not the truth. I was not in contempt of court. I'm not in disdain of the court. I'm not disrespectful of the court, as you love to say in your emails and applications and affidavits and court orders, Mr. Spangenberg. Your own client is, because he doesn't follow the court orders, he doesn't pay maintenance, he steals the car, he commits crimes. You and him lie in your affidavits and court documents and false charges. You lie, you commit crimes. You have a disdain for the law and the court. You are guilty of what you accuse me of. The court order said make traveling arrangements. I did. Tick. Elaine didn't facilitate contact between us. Her fault, not mine. So the visits did not happen. Elaine Botha, in trying to facilitate the contact for these supervised visits, that was a court order, because I was in fact trying to facilitate them, I had been WhatsApping her. She asked me, please do not communicate with me on WhatsApp, email only. So then, I didn't watch my phone. I didn't check my WhatsApps, because she told me she doesn't want to communicate on WhatsApp. It's not formal. It's not to her liking, or whatever her reason was. She wants me to communicate on email with her. Fine, perfect. But then don't expect me to monitor my WhatsApps when you asked me for email communication only, please. So I carried on with my work and tending to Ariel and whatever else was going on that afternoon. And I watched my emails, Elaine Botha, emails. I was monitoring my emails for your response, if you had contacted Mr. Bradshaw, and if there was a reply, and if he was paying, because that's what you asked me to do. And I received no email from you. Later, I saw that there was WhatsApps from you. But that's not what you asked for, Miss Elaine Botha. So don't accuse me of being in contempt of court, Elaine Botha. And don't paint this picture that I'm this horrible person that's constantly breaking court orders when it's not the truth, Mr. Spangenberg. You guys are disgusting. Makes me sick to my stomach. So this man, Jade Bradshaw, this extremely horrible father and dangerous, lying man, was now so angry and frustrated after months of not seeing his daughter. Even though, let me add this in before I say the next thing. I had placed my safety concerns on record with legal aid lawyer Mr. Buller at the time before he withdrew for that time period, plus the family advocate. Plus I had applied for that protection order. The problem was, legal aid said they were representing me in the divorce, and the protection order was a separate matter. Apparently, I don't know if this is really the truth or not, I haven't looked into it. Apparently, legal aid cannot assist you with more than one matter at a time by law. That's what I was told. So Mr. Buller could not handle my protection order against Jade Bradshaw, and he also couldn't handle the maintenance matter because it's in a separate court. All these matters are separate. Why? I do not know. It makes no sense. Within a divorce, it should all be together because it all relates to the same damn thing. You're constantly in different courts in front of different magistrates. No one knows what's going on because no one has the right context or backstory. It makes no sense. Whoever made these laws, they need to be looked at. It's ridiculous. Because firstly, as a citizen, or a woman or any person in need that cannot afford a private attorney, if legal aid has to assist you within a divorce that is complex, there are all these various matters. It is not sufficient to have legal aid for the divorce, but then your attorney cannot assist you with anything else. He cannot handle maintenance, he cannot handle protection orders, he can do nothing else for you. That makes no sense. Because now I have to go and try and do these things by myself. And it's not effective, it doesn't work. Because I don't know the law. I'm not an attorney. I get taken advantage of. Because Mr. Bradshaw spends thousands of rands on advocates and attorneys while claiming to be poor and he cannot afford maintenance. He can afford to fight me in court and be horrible, but he can't afford maintenance for his daughter. So I get crushed in court, as the Bible says. But he does not, even though he's committing the crimes. Not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. And I have been in prison twice. Twice. Have you lost your minds, Humansdorp Court? Sis on you. Shame on you. How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? You are disgusting, all of you. All of you. Every single court clerk and magistrate in that court and the manager should be ashamed of themselves. You hold positions of power. You affect people's lives. You affect whether we can eat, whether we can pay electricity. You are supposed to protect women and children. You are guilty of abuse. Do you understand that? So my protection order against Mr. Jade Bradshaw was dismissed. not because it lacked grounds, not because there was no justification for it, as Miss Elaine Botha likes to say in her family advocate reports, many of them. She says, my reasons were not justified. There were no grounds. I am this horrible mother for withholding Ariel from her father, when I was in fact trying to protect her and myself. It was dismissed because I couldn't afford an attorney, because legal aid was helping me with the divorce and couldn't assist me with it. And Mr. Bradshaw hired an advocate. For those of you who don't know, an attorney is already expensive. An advocate is 3 or 4 times the price. They are a level higher. This man was claiming that he's so poor that he cannot afford to pay maintenance. But he hired an advocate to bully me in court. She literally physically bullied me. She became aggressive with me and Mr. LaRue. He will pay an advocate to bully the mother of his child in court, but he will not pay maintenance. I am so sick of the rumors and hearing what a wonderful father he is, and that I don't understand. They don't just take away kids from their mothers. It doesn't make sense. She must have done something wrong. She must have done something wrong. The rumors in Jeffreys Bay is that I'm a druggie, that I'm this horrible, rubbish mother who doesn't care about my daughter, when it is the furthest thing from the truth. It is the exact opposite. I have been trying to protect her. I have been fighting for her every single day. I don't sleep well because I miss her so much. You are the worst person I've ever met in my life, Jade Bradshaw. You are disgusting. You are not a good father. You are not a good man. You are not a good person. You have such an ugly heart. Such an ugly heart. So Mr. LaRue thought it would be a good idea to teach me how to drive a motorcycle, a motorbike. His intentions were good. He wanted to help. He wanted to help me be more independent and mobile. Because he wanted me to be able to have transport and drive around without being dependent on him, because I couldn't afford a car. And if he's using his car and I need to do something separately for work, the goal was independence. Now we sat down. We were just outside of the garage. In the garden area, the communal garden estate of the townhouse complex we were staying at. We were not wearing helmets because we had no intention of driving anywhere. He said to me, just come sit. I just want to show you the gears. I just want to show you the concept of how this works. It was a mistake. It was an accident. He tried to explain to me, I know nothing about a motorbike. Okay, I've never driven one. I drive with him, sorry. I ride with him. I love going on the motorbike with him. He knows what he's doing. I want to make this very clear for the rumors out there. We have never been in a motorbike accident with Mr. LaRue. He is not an unsafe rider. He knows what he's doing. He's got years of experience. We always wear helmets and jackets when we are riding with him, when he is doing the riding. What happened was, I was just sitting on it. He was right behind me, holding everything. He was just showing me things. And he was trying to explain to me that the petrol, the gas is here, your hands coordinate everything. But it didn't make sense to me. Somehow it was a freak accident. I held on, trying to do the gears. I was nervous and scared, and I held on too tightly, and that's where the damn petrol is. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, so the thing vroomed and gave way under us and sped off, and he tried to control the situation as best he could. He tried to navigate and stop it and slow it down, but we tipped over, and that is how I got the hole in my head and the hole in my knee. We fell off the motorbike. I was in an accident, but it was just an accident. Just an accident. He is not abusive. He does not hit me. Because Jade Bradshaw lied and claims he has eyewitnesses of Mr. LaRue abusing me, which is a complete lie. Bring that eyewitness to court. You won't find that person because it's a lie. So, it was horrible. I had a hole in my head and a hole in my knee, and I was rushed to hospital. But that's all it was. I just got stitches. The wounds were cleaned and stitched up, and I was sent home. I did not even spend one night in hospital, not one. The following Friday, that was Mother's Day. During that week, while I was home and recovering, I was struggling to stand. I could stand, but it was sore. It was very sore. I had just gotten out of the bath. My wounds needed tending to. Mr. LaRue was about to clean them for me and bandage them. I was vulnerable. I was in pain. I was in bed. I was not decent. Captain Stander arrived at our house. At the time, we did not know who he was. Never heard of him, didn't know who he was. He spoke to Mr. LaRue outside, asked to see me. I don't know if you want to chime in here from us, just carry on. John explained to him that I'd been in an accident, I've got wounds, I'm resting, I just came out the bath, everything I just said. He said, can I take your number? I'll tell her to contact you, and you can set up a time that's more appropriate. He proceeded to threaten Mr. LaRue. He said that he would drag me out the house. I don't know the full threat. Do you want to just say it? Because he said something about...
He said he's got two friends that he'll go fetch in the car, and they will drag me, and then after that, when they finish with me, they will drag the mother out their house from her bed. And I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And that's when he flipped himself, and off he went. But I had his number at least.
Okay. So this man, Captain Nico Stander of FCS Humansdorp, family violence, child abuse and sexual assault or whatever, threatened to drag me out the house. I sent him a WhatsApp because I saved the number. I said, "Hi, what is this about?" I have the exact SMS here somewhere in all these files that I'm busy with. He didn't give me a case number. He didn't explain what it was about. I asked for details. I said, if you can I didn't even know who he was. I'd never met the man. I didn't know who he was. I said, if you can tell me who you are, what this is about, a case reference number, a charge, something, so that I can get myself some legal assistance, then we can set up a meeting and I can speak with you. Then we can meet. I have WhatsApp evidence of this. He said to me, "Dit lyk nie of ek gaan met jou kan praat sonder al die goede nie." Extremely professional, Mr. Stander. So, no case number, no explanation of who he is. I didn't know he was head of the FCS. I just know he was some police captain. He didn't explain who he was, didn't tell me what the charges were, didn't give me a case number, didn't explain anything, didn't make an appointment. Nothing. A day or two later, the Friday afternoon, I was resting because obviously the hole in my knee needs to heal. So Jean and Ariel went to Fountains Mall to get pain medication and supper. They were ambushed by an entire task force of police wanting to take Ariel away. Now, firstly, for them to go at that exact time and exact place when I am not there and she's with Mr. LaRue, they were following us. They were tracking us. They were tracing us. This man is a stalker, Jade Bradshaw. Obsessive stalker behavior. That type of individual that displays that type of behavior is dangerous. A social worker said so to me herself the other night that I met with. They are the most dangerous type of people. If an individual displays obsessive stalker behavior, which he did repeatedly, which is the reason I didn't place my address on record. Elaine Botha, Heinz Bangenberg. They were following us. Jean had noticed often that cars were following us. Mr. Bradshaw sent people to befriend me, to try and spy on me and gather information from me. It became so bad that I had no interest in being friends with anyone in Jeffreys Bay. I didn't want to talk to people because I didn't know who was going back to him saying what. I had no privacy. There was literally nowhere I could run or hide from this man. So the fact that this entire task force arrived and ambushed Mr. LaRue with little Ariel with him at Fountains Mall means they had been following us. They claimed they had a court order, a protection order, that said he's not safe, he's not allowed to be around Ariel. He said he didn't know about it. He's never seen this document in his life. He doesn't know that it exists. The sheriff lied. Sheriff van Humansdorp, jy is 'n leienaar, sis. The sheriff lied and said he had served this on Mr. LaRue. He lied to the police because the police was trying to enforce the order and take Ariel away. And so they checked with the sheriff, and he lied and said yes when he did not. We did not know of this protection order's existence, which means we were not in court when it was made, which means it was made final by default in Mr. LaRue's absence, with malicious intent, a clear intent to harm. Because why? Because I was staying with Mr. LaRue and dependent on Mr. LaRue, and he was driving us around. So now Mr. Bradshaw doesn't pay maintenance, and he steals the car. Mr. LaRue helps us, drives us around, provides a house, provides food. Then he gets a protection order against Mr. LaRue saying he's this horrible person and Ariel's not safe. So now where must we live, Jade? Who must feed us? Who must take care of us? You wanted me to suffer so badly that I come running back to you begging because I can't survive by myself. Your clear and malicious intent to harm and hurt me only harmed your daughter repeatedly. Because I'm supposed to take care of her. If you don't pay maintenance, I cannot feed her, Jade. I can't take her to school. Someone helps me, then you get a protection order against them. You are blinded by your jealousy and greed. You threatened my father and told him that you will not stop until I am financially ruined and have nothing left. And so you couldn't stand it that someone was helping me. And protecting me from you. So the police were there in the parking lot of the mall. A whole bunch of them, captains, sheriff. And a lady that was supposed to be my friend. I don't know what they said to her. But she was asked to come along for this horrific, unlawful event. The way I understand the law, a social worker has to be present for any child removal. This friend, this lady that you brought along, simply so that there would be someone Ariel knows, a safe person to make her feel comfortable so she doesn't get in a car with strangers. She is not a social worker. And you used her to trick my daughter into feeling safe. Captain Stander threatened Jean repeatedly, trying to provoke him into an altercation, exposing his firearm in the presence of my little 4-year-old girl. He was trying to instigate a fight. He was trying to provoke Mr. LaRue to do something wrong. His colleague, Lionel, had to repeatedly take him and separate them. This is the way the captain of the FCS, Family Violence, was behaving in front of a little girl. And they arrived with a whole task force of police to intimidate and scare her and him. They explained that there's this protection order, she's not allowed to be with him. But he said he had never seen it, doesn't know about it. He's not going to just let Errol go with them. So they lied. The police looked Mr. LaRue and a little 4-year-old girl in the eyes and lied to them. Captain of the FCS lied to a little girl, said, "We're going to take you back to your mother. We're just taking you to your mother to discuss some court documents." They told Mr. LaRue to go and keep himself busy for an hour or two. He phoned me and warned me that the police had come and they've got Ariel, but they're coming to you. They just want to talk to you about court documents. They never came. They didn't bring her home. They kidnapped my daughter. The police, Captain Nico Stander, kidnapped a little 4-year-old girl from her mother and dropped her off at her father's house, whom she had not seen in months, because I was protecting her from him. And they left her there unattended. 4 years old, unattended. No way to ask for help. No way to contact mommy. If she was crying or missing me or anything, whatever was going on that night, who knows? She couldn't ask for help. She couldn't get herself home. You kidnapped a little girl. Magistrate Deirdre Dixon, you signed the ex parte. You did it on a Friday afternoon so that I could not go to court until Monday. Heinz Spangenberg, you lied. Jade Bradshaw, you lied. You submitted affidavits to the court. Affidavits are done under oath. You are not allowed to lie. That's perjury. That's a crime. You lied and said I was hospitalized and incapable of taking care of my daughter. I was not. I was at home waiting for her. You ripped my heart out that night. The sheriff came to my house, shoved a court order through my door, said, "Die kind is by haar pa," and sped off. He couldn't even look me in the eye. did not explain anything to me. I had no lawyer. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't understand anything. All I knew is my baby girl was gone. She was just gone. This was the 19th of May 2023, 2.5 years ago. Let me spell that out for you again. The police and the court kidnapped my daughter. It was a court-sanctioned kidnapping. Because Magistrate Dixon, you signed a document you should never have. Because that is not how you remove a child. There was supposed to be a social worker present. There are ladies that work in that court that told me a child removal has to go through them. They see every single child removal. They see each and every document. They have to sign it off. They were not aware of that court order's existence. They had not signed it. They would not have signed it. Sean took me to court Monday morning. Bandaged for the hole in my knee, on crutches. I had to walk up and down that court, trying to get assistance, trying to figure out what the hell was going on and what I'm supposed to do, because I didn't know. I started at the Control Prosecutor's Office, Mrs. Mains. She told me she can't get involved, she can't help me. You should have seen the look on her face. She knew she was doing something wrong. It broke her heart, I could see it on her face. She was told not to help me. I will never never forget the look on that woman's face. We were told by the police, who I had asked for advice. John had taken me to the police. I'd shown them the court order. I tried to find out what to do. They told me to go to court, go to Mrs. Mains. So that's where I started. Then she looked me in the eye barely and told me she couldn't help me. She can't get involved. The responses from most of the court clerks and officials and workers at Humansdorp was the same. No one would help me. They were all covering for Mr. Spangenberg. One angel tried to assist me. She told me to fill in a Form 2 for kidnapping. She told me to go make an affidavit, a statement at the police station. I did. I prepared all the documents, all my evidence that I had communicated with Captain Stander, because over the weekend, when he stole and kidnapped my little girl, I contacted him and he said, "It's out of my hands, I can't help you. Because you refused to cooperate, you refused a home visit, you refused. I tried to help you, but you refused." I did not refuse, you liar. I did not refuse an investigation or a home visit. And you cannot remove a little girl from her mother without an investigation or a home visit. You did not conduct one. didn't. And I didn't refuse. And you told me it was out of your hands. There's nothing you can do. You did it. You did it. By the way, this was the reason the matter was never heard in court, because they didn't want me to speak. This is the reason it dragged on for 2.5 to 3 years. Because I was not allowed in court. I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't allowed to say what I'm saying now. One of the court clerks, I'm not sure if that's her correct title, explained to me I must fill in a form too. I did. I put the WhatsApp evidence in there with Mr. Stander, Captain Stander, that I did in fact cooperate. I did not refuse. I wrote and explained that I'm not hospitalized and not incapable of taking my daughter. I'm standing here. Yes, I'm injured, I'm on crutches, but I'm right in front of you. If I can be here at court to fight for my daughter, I can take care of her. I prepared an application. I went to the children's court clerk. She said to me she can't take my application. All applications have to be handed in by a social worker. She went like this. She said, I can't take it. I'm sorry, I can't take it. Got to go to a social worker. I was told to go to CMR, which is just around the corner. CMR, die Christelike Maatskaplike Raad. Christelike Maatskaplike Raad. Let me say that again for you. Christelike Maatskaplike Raad. You work for Christ, or you're supposed to. Jesus Christ, Christelik. I was told to go see Miss Marlene van Taak. I sat there waiting to see her. Out of her office, from a closed door meeting came Elaine Botha, family advocate, and Miss Conradi, her sidekick. They beat me to it. I explained the situation to Miss van Taak. She told me she can't help me. She told me Elaine Botha told her not to help me. The family advocate told her not to help me. The family advocate told Miss van Taak, the social worker at CMR, that this is a care and contact issue. I explained to her exactly what happened. I told her this is not a care and contact issue. They kidnapped my daughter. They stole a 4-year-old girl. It's not a care and contact issue. She said she can't help me. She says because of the divorce process, and I've heard this many times, no matter which social worker I've tried to go to over the last 3 years, they say to me they cannot get involved, they can't help me because there's a family advocate appointed to the case. So apparently there cannot be more than one social worker on a case. And Jade Bradshaw got the family advocate, and so that's who I'm stuck with. And no one else will help me, because she's the family advocate on the case. I begged and pleaded with Miss van Taak. I explained to her the children's court clerk does not want to take this application. It has to be handed in by a social worker. Please, I begged her. She looked me in the eye and said to me, okay, I'll go hand it in. She never did. She never did. She never did. I was advised to apply for legal aid. I didn't feel like this would be of any help because I had just been dropped by legal aid for my divorce. I had no faith in them. But this was my only option because a social worker wouldn't hand in an application. I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to do with that ex parte. And no one else at Humansdorp Court wanted to help me or could even look me in the eye. We bothered everyone, knocked on every door, spoke to everyone, tried everything. We made a nuisance of ourselves. Jean drove me to court every single day for a week while I was on crutches with holes in my knee and head, trying to get assistance. We eventually found out, because no one could tell us who signed that court order. Eventually, we interrupted court to get an official that would recognize the signature. She told us, maar dis Dixon se handtekening die. Then we try to find out, okay, so who's Magistrate Dixon? How do I get to her? They told us she's in Port Elizabeth. She's at the PE court. She's not there. I said, okay, fine. So Mr. LaRue, because no one was helping us, and we were so fed up and so angry. Mr. LaRue, and I had, so this was after a few days of going to court trying to sort this mess out. I had applied for legal aid, but they had not answered me. It was an urgent matter. My daughter was stolen, and they were not replying and accepting my application. And then Mr. LaRue said loudly in front of all the court clerks in the admin offices, okay, well, nou gaan ons Port Elizabeth toe ry. We're going to go find Magistrate Dixon. Come, let's go find her. All of a sudden, my phone rang. It was Mr. Buller from Legal Aid. Oh, Miss Bradshaw, your application's been approved. How may I be of assistance? I'm not stupid. He then acted like all of a sudden he had forgotten the law. And he asked me, what do you expect me to do? As if he can't help me, as if there's nothing to do, as if he doesn't know what to do. This was the most bizarre conversation I've ever had in my life. He said to me, so what do you want me to do? Are you mad? I want my daughter home. Explain the court order to me. Explain to me what I have to do. You are the lawyer. The legal aid application came with the ex parte. You are supposed to explain to me what the hell this document means and how and what I'm supposed to do. And people want to tell me I've got no evidence of the corruption at Humansdorp Court. There's no evidence. Do you think I'm stupid? Mr. Bulla proceeded to help me. But we still drove to PE. And we tracked down Magistrate Dixon, who proceeded to scream and shout at us. She told us what we were doing, approaching her, asking her for assistance, was extremely unprofessional, and that she cannot speak to me without the other party present, that this is not legal. But that ex parte means exactly that. That's what she explained to me, like I was stupid. That's the way she spoke to me. She said she couldn't speak to us because the other parties involved are not there. But she signed an ex parte, which means my voice was not in that application, only their lies. And apparently this is legal. She did tell me that I have to ask the attorney to advance the return date on the application for the matter to be heard in court earlier. That's the only piece of advice she gave me. When we first got there, when we were trying to explain who we were and what this was about, she said to Jean, "O, ek weet wie jy is. Ek het alles van jou gelees." She thought she knew this man that she had never met in her life, based on a single court application made by opposing counsel. Are you that stupid and have such little depth into the insight of a divorce that you think in a single application by opposing counsel that everything they say is true and the picture they paint of the other side is completely accurate? It's a divorce. People badmouth each other. And you're not supposed to lie, but they did. They took it a step further. They actually lied in their affidavits and court documents. They lied. They lied about Mr. Leroux to get that protection order. They didn't serve it on him. That's why he wasn't in court. That's why it was made final, because we didn't know it existed. And they lied. I was not hospitalized. I'm not a bad mother. I was not incapable of taking care of my daughter. And she thought that she knew everything she needed to know from one court document. Now she summed up a person accurately. If this is your understanding, then you should not be a magistrate, because there is a lot more depth to a person than one court document. You cannot know someone accurately from one court document, even if there's no lies in it, but especially if there's lies in it. You prejudice Mr. Leroux. You prejudice me. You have been operating under bias and prejudice, unethically judging us, which is against the law. It is against the law. You are supposed to be objective, neutral, independent as a magistrate. Mr. Bulla assisted me to prepare my opposing arguments, to contest the ex parte that Errol must live with Jade, so that it's not made final, so that she can come home. We sat at court, we were there, we were present. And can I just say that for every single court matter, before and after this, I was called into court. In fact, the one time I couldn't arrange a lift to court because Mr. Bradshaw had stolen the car and I was struggling and my lift had dropped me, I was also labelled as tardy and not having respect for the law and being in contempt of court for not showing up. But Mr. Bradshaw, how must I go to court repeatedly, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, when we live in Jeffreys Bay? Humansdorp is kilometers away. It costs so much petrol money to get there and back. Money that I do not have because you don't pay maintenance. I can't even drive in my own car because you stole it. Mr. LaRue drove me to 80% of my court appearances. Every now and again, if my parents were in town, they would take me, or sometimes my aunt would take me, or his aunt would take me. Most of the time it was him. All that petrol money from 3.5 years of going to court. Do you realize that all the money you spent on this constant fighting in court, you could have just paid maintenance? We could have given Ariel a better life. There could have been peace if you had paid maintenance and not been horrible and threatened us all the time. She would have just kept coming to visit you. We would have settled the divorce. She could have had extramural activities, a steady, stable routine. And instead of spending hundreds of thousands of rands on legal fees, that money could have gone to her education, to her future. But I'm a bad mother. And the court tasked you with primary care. So we were sitting outside court waiting to be called in. And it never happened. Mr. Bulla came out to me and said the magistrate wouldn't hear the matter. She said she was very busy, she didn't have time for it today. This was an urgent matter regarding the well-being of a little girl who had been traumatically removed, kidnapped from her mother. And the magistrate didn't have time. She was so busy, she had so many other matters on the roll. There was no time for us. So apparently I wasn't there. I wasn't allowed in the courtroom. Apparently Mr. Bulla and Mr. Spannenberg started arguing the matter informally in front of the magistrate because Mr. Bulla was trying so hard for the matter to get heard on that day because it was so close and near and dear to his heart. The interest and well-being of my little girl. He told me the magistrate would read all the papers and deliver a judgment electronically. I was not given a chance to speak. I didn't agree to this. The judgment says it is agreed by both parties. I never agreed to it. Mr. Bulla did the agreeing, not me. I wasn't there. I was there. I was sitting outside. I did not show up to court. I was there. I was and am fighting for my daughter. Always. I was there. But I wasn't allowed inside the courtroom. I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't given a voice. Do you know how long it took the magistrate to deliver a judgment about a little girl that was supposed to be home with her mother? 2 months. 2 months. Via email. The family advocate and I had a very strained relationship. She claimed I had no reason for Mr. Bradshaw to not see his daughter. She claimed I was being difficult and unreasonable in not putting my address on record, in not wanting to meet with her when the re-investigation had to happen. I explained to them I don't have an attorney because Mr. Bulla dropped me, and the magistrate wants me to have an attorney because it's a complicated matter. I told her I will meet with you once I've got legal assistance. She said the inquiry goes on whether I have legal assistance or not. I have to meet with her. I tried to say, I understand I have to meet with you. I'm asking for a postponement, for a delay. I'm not saying I'm not going to cooperate with you. I'm not saying I'm never going to meet with you. I'm just saying, please give me time to see an attorney, to get some advice, because I am terrified of Mr. Bradshaw taking my daughter away from me. I'm terrified of saying or doing the wrong thing in the interview with you. I want legal advice. I have a right to legal advice. She paints me in a very ill light in the family advocate's reports. But she doesn't disclose the full depth and nuance, and all the nuances of the situation. She fails to portray things from my point of view or understand things from my point of view. She changed her recommendation for primary care to Jade. And they said I was only allowed to see Ariel at Jade's house. For months, I tried to get them to negotiate an alternative venue. Because there's a reason I left that house. There's a reason I left Mr. Bradshaw. I am saying I don't feel safe. I didn't even want him to see Ariel. Now he stole her and he's forcing me to go see her there. He says that's the only place I'm allowed to see her. Do you realize how sick and twisted this man is? This is psychopathic behavior. He stole his daughter to force me back into his house. Because he told me, remember, I'm not allowed to leave. So now he's like, okay, fine, I'll steal your daughter. Now you have to come see her here. Now you have to come back. That is characteristics and symptoms of a cold-hearted psychopath. It's like, you will love me or no one else. You will live with me or nowhere else. If you don't love me, I'll hurt you. And he hurts his own little girl to hurt me. He's not rational, he's not stable, he's not healthy, he's not safe. He is dangerous because he's got no moral compass. His obsession with hurting me overrides his ability to make decisions in the best interest of his daughter. He hurts his daughter to hurt me. That is child abuse. Child abuse. Because he is forcing her to live with him when she doesn't want to. She wants to live with her mommy. She misses her mommy. She loves me. She doesn't want to live there. No little girl wants to grow up without her mommy. He is forcing her to live there against his will, like he forced me to live there against my will.
Against her will.
Yeah, her will. Just like he forced me to live with him against his will when I didn't want to anymore. Because he threatened to take her away if I leave. Which he did. He did. He proved his own threat. And do you know that once he tried to convince me that it wasn't him who threatened me? This man tried to convince me of an alternative reality. He tried to rewrite history. He tried to convince me that it was his father who threatened me. He never threatened me. Do you know that at the time his father didn't even live in Jeffreys Bay? His father lived in Aliwal North with his wife. And this man thinks I am so stupid that I will believe his father threatened me. He's not right in his head or his heart. He's not safe. That girl is in danger. But no one wants to listen to me. Because you won't allow me in your courtroom. Because you kidnapped a little girl and you're all guilty of child abuse. That is why. And that's why you put me in prison. Because I don't go away, because I don't keep quiet, because I keep trying, I keep fighting, I keep doing applications. I keep finding new lawyers. When you threaten my lawyers and they withdraw, I find a new one. And then you accuse me of having a whole string of lawyers, but you chase them away. I don't stop, I don't keep quiet. Then Mr. Stein moans at me. Jy wil nie luister nie. Ek gaan nie vir jou luister nie. Jy het my kind gesteel. Geen ma gaan vir die dwaas, kwaaddoenige moroon luister wat haar kind steel nie. Ek gaan aanhou beklei. Ek gaan nooit opgee nie. Sy is my dogtertjie. Julle het haar gesteel. Sy is nie veilig nie. En julle het my tronk toe gestuur om my stil te maak. Julle het gehoop, iemand gaan my daar doodmaak. En dan gaan julle nooit in die moeilikheid kom nie. Proverbs 11:21 says, "Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free." And that is why both times when you tried to shut me up, God opened the prison doors. Because I'm not guilty of anything except trying to protect that little girl and trying to get justice for the crimes you committed, Jade Bradshaw, Heinz Spangenberg, Captain Nico Stander, Magistraat Dixon, Mr. Bulla, Magistrate Tyser, Magistrate Mashigu. You have used and abused your positions of power to imprison an innocent mother, to hide your crime of kidnapping a little girl. And that, Jeffreys Bay, is why I have been in prison twice. I am not a rubbish. I've not lost my mind. I'm not insane. I'm not a druggie. I'm not a bad mother. These officials were trying to hide their crimes and silence me. Because they should be in jail. They should be in jail. And I threatened them all with lawsuits. After the first imprisonment, I sent out legal notices. Then they arrested me again, made me sleep in a cold police cell, dirty, hungry, filthy, in pain again, put me in prison again because I said I was going to sue them. You guys are disgusting. I don't know how you sleep at night. I really don't understand. I don't sleep at night because I'm worried sick about my daughter. And I'm so angry. And it's not a sin to be angry. I don't hate you. I don't harbor hate for you in my heart. But righteous anger is from the Lord. For justice, for the truth. Because the Lord detests lying lips. Cease. Wie het julle groot gemaak? Kry julle nie skaam nie? Are you not ashamed of yourselves? How do you sleep? How do you look yourself in the mirror? It's beyond me. I can't fathom it. I can't understand it. After 2 months, when the judgment finally came from Magistrate Mashigu, that it's apparently not in the best interest of my daughter to return to her mother, I have tried for 2.5 years at Humansdorp court to get justice, to be heard, to fight for my daughter, to regain primary care. It was a losing battle because no one will say sorry, because they don't want to get in trouble for the crime they have committed, because they can lose their licenses and go to jail. because they have ruined their careers that they spent their whole life working for. And they want to protect themselves, their money, their career, their status, their reputation, their households, their families, their kids. But I must suffer. I must go to jail. My little girl must grow up without her mother. There were court orders from the family advocate with care and contact arrangements in place. Eventually, I got it overturned that I don't have to see Ariel at Jade's house. The family advocate, Elaine Botha, in a report, said to me that if I place my address on record and my social circumstances are stable, what she meant was if I sign like a 6 or a year month lease and I put my address on record, because we had moved around a lot and traveled a lot for work. So according to her, my social circumstances were not stable, especially because I was staying with Mr. LaRue, because I can't afford my own house, my own lease, because Mr. Bradshaw doesn't pay maintenance. Advocate Botha wrote in a family advocate's report for the court on record in black and white that if my social circumstances improve and I place my address on record, they will assist me, the Office of the Family Advocate will assist me with an application for primary care, to regain primary care. So I did exactly what she asked me to do. We signed a, I can't remember if it was 6 months or a year lease. The first time when we moved in with Mr. LaRue, they complained that Ariel didn't have her own room. Because in the rural areas, every single child has their own room. Otherwise, you go and take them away, Elaine Botha. Do you go and remove every single child from their mother that doesn't have their own room? So this time, with the help of my parents and Mr. LaRue, we signed a lease for a 2-bedroom house where she had her own room, and I put my address on record as you asked, even though I didn't want to for safety. I did so. I did what you asked me to do, but then you didn't keep your word. You then refused to assist me with an application for primary care for Ariel to come home. You moved the goalpost. You went back on your word. You are a liar. Family advocate, Elaine Botha. I was advised by quite a few people at Humansdorp. Thank you so much. You're so generous and so kind. That attorney Nel Marie is apparently so wonderful, so fantastic. She can help you. She'll sort all of this out for you. Go see her. She won't charge as much as other attorneys. I went to see her. I had no money. Mr. LaRue spent all his money taking care of me and Ariel. So my father paid this woman, a retired dominee. You stole money, Nel Marie, from a retired dominee and promised to help me, which you did not. You pretended to help me. You took our money, my father's money, but you did not help me. You did not fix anything. In fact, you were batting for the other team because you're friends with Magistrate Dixon. And Magistrate Dixon is friends with Mr. Spangenberg, and Mr. Spangenberg is friends with Nico Stander. And they are a disgusting little circle clan of who knows what. They belong to some sort of society because they have each other's backs despite what the law says. You convinced me to say yes to a phone for my 4-year-old daughter so that she can be tracked and traced for her safety. You told me it was so normal. You've handled this in other cases before. It's okay. It just gives the father reassurance. Don't worry too much about it. He's a stalker. He's a psychopath. He's dangerous. He's obsessed with me. He won't leave me alone. I'm scared for my safety. But you wanted me to have a court order that allows him legally to track and trace me. You made his disgusting, psychopathic, obsessive stalker behavior legal in a court order by giving a phone to a 4-year-old that she has to keep with her at all times. She shouldn't even have a phone. I would never have gotten her a phone. Not a 4-year-old. Are you insane? She became addicted to playing games on her phone. On top of playing games on the iPad her father allows her to use, and watching shows and TV and cartoons and movies on the iPad, on the phone, on the TV. It's just screen on screen on screen on screen. That's not how I wanted to raise my daughter. That's not healthy. I had a very, very different life and childhood planned for her. A healthy one. A healthy, happy one. Not hours in front of the TV and playing games on the phone, eating chocolate and ice cream to try and make her feel better because she misses her mommy. And Humansdorp Court made a court order that a little 4-year-old girl needs to have a phone with her so she can see her mother, so we can be tracked and traced, to feed this obsessive psychopath's addiction for harm. And that's all you did, Ronel Gruvier. You didn't help me get primary care back. You didn't help me get the maintenance back. You didn't do anything. You just stole our money. And you covered for Miss Magistrate Dixon and Spangenberg.
I heard in jail that some of the buildings around the courthouse, and especially the one that Ronel Gruvier and Dixon were officed in, is owned by other magistrates in that same courthouse. So it's one big happy racketeering family of favors and owing this and rents and leases, and you can only imagine. Sorry to interrupt you. That's what I heard inside the prison cells while waiting for whatever they were cooking up that day. Coughing my lungs out. Still haven't got my voice back. Sick. No phone, no phone call. Not one phone call ever from where I was taken from my breakfast table, guns in my face for the second time, and I came home to a dead dog who bled out under my fucking bed, looking for me. Fuck all of you. Sorry.
It's fine. He was made to sleep on the floor. Do you know that in the men's prison, there's not enough beds? Everyone doesn't have their own bed.
Or mattress.
They
Or
don't.
blanket.
Yeah.
Or water. Or light. Or anything.
It's dirty. He had bugs on his body, in his clothes. It's dirty in there. The blankets are dirty. The mattresses are dirty. The few that are there, that get shared between many, and they fight over it. And if you don't want to fight over it,
They try to blackmail my family and friends through their means, which I don't judge because it's fucking survival in there. Making agreements and arrangements, hoping I'm going to see tomorrow. I was a swim coach of your daughter, you prick. Making her water safe, you prick. While you are ruining her childhood, you prick. Sorry.
because Jade also threatened and then did stop paying for her swimming lessons, which is literally in contradiction with her safety, because a child has to be water safe. We live in Jeffreys Bay. She loves to swim. We go to the ocean. We want her to be a swimmer and a surfer, and you wouldn't pay for her swimming lessons. Any child can fall into a pool or get taken by a big wave by mistake. It is a vital life skill for survival to know how to swim, and you refuse to pay for her swimming lessons. But you will fight me in court day after day after day, and then I must hear from her school teacher that I am such a horrible mother. Nadia de Jager, jou beurt kom.
I want to take the opportunity to mention right now, I am a very well and lucky and fortunately qualified teacher with many years of experience and in child psychology. And from both of those points of view, I try to raise the alarm with Elaine Buerta on day fucking one of this. And she wouldn't have it in her little pinstripe feminist suit and glasses. Knows all the answers, all the ends to all the sentences that you could ever imagine trying to start with her, making promises that she can hardly cash, ruining a little girl's life, and almost having her mother and her swim coach killed through the actions of her and her idiots at Humansdorp Court. Dorp van Drome. Sorry.
It's fine. You keep moving our cases around from court to court, or not letting me be in a court at all, removing my cases from a court roll, or not calling me into court, because you don't want to hear me speak. No one wants to listen to what I have to say. So that's why we're doing this. Because I have tried, I have begged and pleaded, I have cried in court. Please listen to me. Please hear my case. This case, the last case that we were both arrested for, the last day in court, Captain Nico Stander did not show up with the court dockets as he had done many times before. They want to put in the family advocate's reports and all Mr. Bradshaw's ex-partes, of which there are many, that I am so terrible and have such a disdain for the court and the law and the justice system because I don't arrive at court. But Captain Nico Stander, jy dog ook nie op vir hof nie. You didn't arrive to court. You didn't bring the dockets. You didn't come and explain yourself. Because you can't justify by law why you arrested us. Because if you have to explain why you arrested us, I have to explain why I did what I did. Because why? Because you stole my daughter. So, I was told, we were told, because we were both arrested and both imprisoned, we were told by the magistrate that she can't hear the matter. This is the last case now for which we were in prison, that she can't hear the matter. She doesn't have jurisdiction because the case is in the wrong court. I was in tears. I said to her, well, then transfer it to the right court. She said to me, I can't. It doesn't work like that. I want to be heard in court. No one wants to listen to me in court. You say you can't transfer the case to the right court. But you spent 3 weeks transferring the case left, right, and center between courts to delay us getting out of prison. But now we're out, and the matter has to proceed to trial, and everyone's got to come and explain and bring their evidence. Now you can't transfer the matter to the right court. But why is the case in this court? Why am I standing in front of you with the recording light on, and the prosecutor and my attorney were all here for court that you arranged? I didn't say what court the matter must be in. I'm not in charge of court. You're in charge of court. You told us, be at court 14 this day, this time, and we're there. And you say the matter's in the wrong court. But who put the matter in the court? You did. So why didn't you put the matter in the right court? And why can't you transfer it? But when we're in prison, you can transfer the case from court to court to court to court to court to delay us getting out and getting help. That makes no sense. That's illegal. That's illegal. You need to plug the laptop in, the battery's getting low.
No problem.
So last year, while the divorce was on, and we eventually started the trial, I fired Nel Marie because you're just as disgusting and useless and unethical as the rest of them. I found an attorney who would assist me pro bono because I couldn't afford one, and legal aid is corrupt and also unethical. So now the matter was placed, finally, the divorce, on the court roll. This started in 2023, late in 2023, and for the year of 2024. But in 2020, was it for? 2024. The divorce was supposed to be heard, I think, in February or something. And I was told by my attorney, The magistrate is not happy with how long this divorce is taken, because now it's 1.5 years already, almost 2024, 2022, 2 years, now it's 2 years already. She's not happy with how long it's taking. This date that they've given me, I can't remember when it was. I think it was in February. The divorce will be finalized. I've heard that so many times. So we're starting to prepare for court. We're talking backwards and forwards. I'm discussing things with my attorney. And then she tells me the date's been postponed. There's some sort of issue. I can't remember. I've lost track of all the problems at Humansdorp Court and all the reasons for postponement. The matter gets postponed. Jean and I are sick and tired of this divorce. And Mr. Bradshaw not wanting to divorce me. Now think about this. He filed for divorce. But he doesn't actually want to divorce me. That's why the divorce was dragged out for 3.5 years. Because he didn't want me to leave. Because he's not the one that actually filed for divorce. I did. I left. And then he's been using the divorce process to abuse me and make my life a living hell and steal my daughter and make me struggle financially and harass me and stalk me and lie about me in court and break down my character and spread lies and rumors about me. He has destroyed my entire life. And he used the divorce process to do it. Because he didn't want to divorce me, because he's angry that I left. He thought the more horrible he was to me, eventually I would break and I would just come back, because I want the horribleness of what he's doing to end. I just want the suffering to end. I just want things to go back to the way they were. I want to see Ariel again. I want to live in stability again. I want to be able to drive my own car again. And not stress about electricity and petrol and food. He thought the more he made me suffer, eventually I would come back. Because life was easy with him, materialistically. No one wants your love if you force it on them, Jade. You cannot force someone to love you. You cannot harm and abuse someone to make them love you. It doesn't work like that. Mr. LaRue and I wanted to get married. We wanted to start a family. I wanted to carry on with my life. Ariel wants brothers and sisters. She's lonely. Mr. LaRue doesn't have kids. He wants to be a father. I wanted to carry on with my life. And God is above the law, especially when the state and the law is corrupt. I could not get a legal divorce, no matter how hard I tried. I tried. Mr. LaRue tried to help. He drove me to almost every single court appearance. Helped me to get a pro bono attorney. He was helping. We were trying. But women cannot get pregnant forever. I have a biological clock. My time is running out. I could not keep waiting and waiting for a divorce that's just never going to happen. Because Mr. Bradshaw doesn't want it. He just wants to hurt me and be horrible. So Jeffreys Bay and all church-going people that want to judge us, that is the situation. This man wouldn't divorce me because he doesn't want me to move on with my life. He doesn't want me to be happy. He doesn't want me to be married to someone else. But God is above the law. Especially, it says so in the Bible, especially when there's corruption. So we decided to carry on with our life. Because I was scared if I keep waiting, by the time this divorce eventually ends, if this nightmare ever ends, that it will be too late, that I can't fall pregnant. Then Mr. LaRue will never have kids, and Errol will never have a brother and sister. So we became pregnant. God blessed us because we prayed about it. And He answered our prayers and He blessed us, and I became pregnant. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of believing that the divorce was going to be finalized early 2024 because the court date I was given was, say, February. And I was told by my attorney that the magistrate wants to finalize the divorce. She's not happy. She wants to settle this. So I could not, in my wildest imagination or dreams, think that it would be postponed and postponed and postponed again. The trial eventually started. Mr. Bradshaw was heard first. His attorney questioned him, my attorney cross-examined him. It was embarrassing, Jade, the way you lie. I felt sorry for you. You're not even a good liar. You lied about so many things under oath in court. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for you. You said I did nothing. You said you raised Ariel. You said I was only good for breastfeeding. I raised that little girl. I did everything for her. You didn't even want to change her nappies. You said because your eyes are bad, because you're half blind, you don't want to change her nappies because you're scared you're going to miss some poo. I dressed her. I changed her nappies. I brushed her teeth. I brushed her hair. I breastfed her. I was her mother. I am her mother. I'm her primary caregiver. I am her mother, Jade. You took my little girl away from me. When you stole her, you broke my heart. I had no one to get up for in the mornings and make lunch and take to school and help dress. I had no one to care for. She was just gone. She was just gone. It was the most horrible thing you could have ever done to me. had so many plans. I had such a different childhood imagined for her. She was supposed to do ballet and extramural activities, and I was supposed to help her with her homework. And Nadia de Jager, I was supposed to give my little girl her first haircut, not you. You have no business cutting my daughter's hair. Are you insane? You are not her mother, you are her school teacher. Do you know that she had never had a haircut before? Never. I was supposed to take her for her first haircut.
And you were asked to back off.
I did repeatedly ask you, stop interfering, stop meddling. You are meddling in our personal life. You don't know what you're talking about.
Giving marriage advice on WhatsApp after hours met 'n glasie wyn of wat? Is jy van jou kop af?
You kept telling me what's best for my daughter. As if I don't know. I am her mother. You believed Mr. Bradshaw's lies and you refused to listen to me. I tried to explain to you. I said I want to explain to you things from my side. You need to understand the truth. He is lying. You didn't want to hear it. No matter how many times I asked you that I wanted to explain everything to you. Because you work with my child. You need to understand the truth of what's going on.
Stop explaining to her, because the problem is, to this day, in a new school year, with Ariel having a different teacher, this nut job is still involved in Ariel's life, emailing communications, and was allegedly, because I was not there, the one who picked her up from the police station on the night after Nel Marie was assaulted in Coffee Bay, driven by 2 police officers back to jbay with child throwing up. She was the one who picked up the child after she was forcibly removed from her mom's arms by Fanier, and I have it in my head right now. Forcibly walked out the police station, put her in some vehicle, and this was apparently this Nadia, this cuckoo thing. What the heaven is that all about? In a new school year, halfway through the year.
You're not even her current teacher anymore. Why were you there
And
to
Mr.
pick up?
Van Mark, the headmaster of the school, wait till we get to this absolute clown show. He has schizophrenia. I'm dead sure of it. He needs to be assessed. He cannot be working or leading a school of children. It is insanity. Spend time with him. I can trigger him so easily. It is unreal. It's like working with a 2-year-old full of sugar who's just been electrocuted and been allowed to run around the house. He is insane. I know. I have seen. I have been trained. I'm qualified to say this. I just was never allowed to talk because I was too close to the party, which I understand. But who else then if not us? This is not even the start. Do you think the rape allegations are false? Stay tuned. You're not going to believe your fucking ears. Do you need a body break, by the way?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're just going to take a break. I'm just going to mute the video, and then we're going to go on, take a body break. I'll mute the thing. Pause it or something. Oh, because Nel Marie has to use a bedpan because Nel Marie cannot stand and walk to the bathroom because Nico fucking Stander bombed her out of my big tour bus, stepped on her neck, grabbing her hair, pulling her around while she had a cesarean and she was recovering from pregnancy that he knew about. Wait till we get to this crap. Nel Marie needs privacy to have a wee-wee. Let me just make a plan on this camera. We might even stop and just come back. Don't worry.
We'll be back in a minute.
It's difficult to push small buttons when your hands are shaking like this. So it was we're just going to stop and have a body break, and we're going to start a new kind of chapter thing. No problem. Take a break.